The Pacific Dragons and the GFI East Africans. Up next after this game, Allied World Forces Exiles take on the Irish Vikings. And what is going to be a hot and heavy action-packed two-day event, as it always is at the Football Club Tens. There'll be people, there'll be colour, there'll be noise. Will most certainly be rugby union, and there will be all sorts of tries as the skill set of some of these players comes to the fore. It's a great proving ground for scouts. They love to come down here and see who is available, and there's always someone from the young crop come through and prove themselves worthy of a professional contract, or it's also been the occasion where guys have come through and ended up playing for their countries at the main event this weekend in the Cathay Pacific HSBC Hong Kong Sevens. Yep, they've gone from the outhouse to the in-house and sometimes ended up on the big stage itself. The magnificent Hong Kong Tens. 40 years of Sevens rugby in Hong Kong, and a major part of the Sevens week is the satellites events. Of course, over on the other side of town at the moment, probably the most social rugby tournament in the world, the Kowloon Rugby Fest taking part, over 600 players over there. And then you come to the, well, what can only be considered the Ferraris of the game, as pros from all level of the game, internationals as well, make their way into the GFI Hong Kong Football Club Tens. It's a different class of athlete at the GFI Tens, and as they're starting to make their way in now, both teams. The teams for BGC have always been magnificently populated by superstars, and the head coach this year is no different. Tana Remung is back. His assistant coach, former Otago, former Southland Stag, probably current Harbour Duck from Dunedin, Harley Tepole, and the ambassador is Justin Marshall. Here they are, the East Africans, sponsored by GFI. And just coming into the picture for the first time, the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons making their way onto the pitch. So we are underway in the 2015 edition of the GFI Hong Kong Football Club Tens, here from the resplendent Hong Kong Football Club in Happy Valley, Hong Kong. Welcome very much for the first time to the first game, the Pool A encounter between the GFI East Africans and the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons. Star-studded lineup for the BGC APDs, and the East Africans, even though they come here with a very short form list, well, no form record at all, you can expect that they've been hand-picked for their ability to get it across the park and entertain. So for those of you not familiar with tennis-side rugby, you've got 2 days to get familiar with it. That's good. It is a very simple format. Thankfully, we've got forwards, which makes the game not only exciting for everyone, but also quite appealing for our female audience. And then we've got backs, and that's and they might take first crack at the goal, and that's fair enough too. Build a score. They're taking territory, which is fair enough too. Fairly excitable part of the crowd down there. Let's hope it stays that way. And we'll see the crowd building up over the next few hours as the long lunches start to apply to Hong Kong. Short and lined out. Secured by the East Africans. Good strong running. 2-Nilly, the Tongan captain, playing for BGC in the red and the bald head. Pressure at the breakdown by BGC, and this could all be all it takes for the Asia Pacific Dragons to break out. Straight away they're past the gain line and threatening and pressuring, and the East Africans are back heeling into contact they come again. They're going to take on the game line all day, BGC. Wide they spread, and that's unfortunate. East Africans will have to stay on their medal, though, to take the ball away. You can see the skills, though, of the BGC players. They've got the ability to take it two hands, just hold the line, advance on it, make everybody think twice about who they're going to tackle. Scrum time, 5-man scrum. Leaves 4 on the back line. Plenty of pressure on from the BGC Asia Pacific back Dragons. Finally relieved for the East Africans. Lock on is the call, so they'll get to reset that one. So the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons will have plenty of heat going to this one, no doubt about that, and they do. And again, backwheeling they go, the East Africans, and they try to clear out from their own line, and I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to work out that this could be trouble, and a lot of trouble indeed, as the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons get the account underway, and they open it up fairly simply. A missed clearance kick, pitching up nice and easy, and straight away the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons just get in and get it done. 5-0 with the kick to come, and the kick is there. 7-0, the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons leading the GFI East Africans in game 1 of the 2015 GFI Hong Kong Football Club Tens, TCPC. Chipping that one over. So again, the restart for BGC not entirely accurate, although they did switch it up to go the other way. The East Africans will get the advantage of starting it down on the halfway. Johnny Yabenda, Charles, well-known face in Hong Kong. Been here, done that as far as a lot of people are concerned. Particularly a travelman when it comes to rugby, but he's got the skills to pay the bills, and now he's sitting in the boot for the East Africans. Far side they decide to move, and handling under pressure is a problem. Look out, the red jersey's about. BGC now, hold it up, tidy it up even. They set a short side. Will they look that way? They don't have to. It's a show and go. The second try.
Number 16, OC Levi. That's the second try.
So BGC through the young Fijian. Slam another 5 points in. That's 12 with the kick to come from TCPC.
Conversion is unsuccessful. The score remains
Kick is no good for TCPC. Might have found the edge of his range perhaps. Who knows? 12-0 is the score. BGC Asia Pacific Dragons leading the GFI East Africans. And they set up for another restart from halfway. Shortened halves in the shortened format of the game. And they're inside 3.5 minutes left in this first half. Kick is probably a little bit more conventional as the East Africans get rid of the ball back down to the BGC half, and now it's run into centre field, and the line looking just not quite all together there for the East Africans. delay the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons, who finally take it into contact, but they've got good space, they've got good width, and they've got numbers on the far side, and they open it up. If they can find the right channel, they'll probably sneak one through. And now they put it on out wide, and they do break the gain line finally, far side of the pitch. Nice fluid passing by BGC, and they've got them under pressure out wide, a lot of pressure in fact, and Roy Kinny-Lau just throws in the big don't argue, and that's beautifully held to the back by BGC. Finally the halfback's in late. Hard ball for TCPC to pick up. Eventually takes a few bodies into contact. Reset by the BGC in front of the upright, and probably more a direct route is exactly where the forwards would like to go, and that's a good clean out by the East Africans. They might have made things happen for themselves there, and yep, tremendous defence. So good bit of work at the breakdown. Seen a few bodies flying. You've got to shift some wood if you have to, and a little bit of a chat. Quite possibly not quite English, but understood enough by the referee. He's walked back the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons an extra 10. And the GFI East Africans bring play up to roughly the halfway mark on the far side of the pitch. Trinelli at the back wearing 7. Great Tongan international. Taken though at 2 by the East Africans. They lock it up and nudge it up a bit. It's been stolen away though by the BGC Asia Pacific breakout. And there the ball out the back. It's juggled, it's held, and finally too much gas.
Third try just before half-time to the BGC Dragons. Joe Villani gets in under the posts. Conversion should be academic.
The try by Joe Vidilavu. Been a real star for BGC over the years, and the kick is knocked straight through. 19 points to 0. And less than 30 seconds remaining in the first half of the first game. The 2015 GFI Hong Kong Football Club Tens. BGC just changing over a few personnel as the East Africans probably want to get this one and maybe sort it out and get it into touch if they can, but they'll go short BGC to contest the ball and look for the extra points, and I guess thankfully for the East Africans, the ball's at least come back to them this time. There they go. What are they going to do? They go wide. Well, that's fair enough too. Outside channel looked open there if the ball was on. BGC are over there in contact. They clean out the counter ruck, and there he goes again. Big Joe, no problem at all. Runs like a dream. He's one of the great scorers of Japanese rugby. And this man can score, of course. His relatives who have played in the international scene for Fiji, particularly at the Sevens tournament, and he's been borderline for the national side in the past himself. 24 points racked up now with a kick to come for the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons. Here's the conversion attempt. That doesn't look too bad. Probably a bit better than the commentator can muster anyway, but the halftime break, the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons 24 points, and the GFI East Africans 0. So there we are, halftime in the first match of this fantastic tournament. One of the most starting events for the 2015 Cathay Pacific HSBC Hong Kong Sevens. The Sevens weeks really gets cracked up and underway. Joining me very shortly will be my main man, Well, a short turnaround for the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons. They head straight back out and into business, and the crowd looking on, enjoying it. That's the first bacon buddy of the day, and there's been 3 or 4 of those probably taken down early already around the ground. Certainly when it comes to the Hong Kong Sevens week, and the bacon buddy is a matter of survival. Joining me in the co-analyst chair, Ben Kendi. Mate, thank you very much for your time today. Good to see you. So, Ben joining me for the first stint. We've drawn the short straw. We've got an early. That means we get out early as well, big fella. Don't worry about that. As we come back now for the start of the second half. Pool A clash, game 1. The GFI East Africans taking on the BGC Asia Pacific Dragons. And the Asia Pacific straight away off the mark, and they're away running as they charge off down the pitch without any real defence at all, and from the kick-off they'll wheel one in, and we've seen them do this to teams time and time again over the years. Ben, they continue to pick class players, and they're the great entertainers.
Make that 31. The BGC Dragons 31, East Africans 0.
Conversion successful from a very basic breakout try by the BGC team. Takes them out to a 31-0 lead over the Asia, or the GFI East Africans, who will be getting a good look at some of the rock stars of sevens and tens rugby in the world.
And the points keep coming. Number 15 by Sinan Gugu gets the try. He'll convert for himself. And a procession so far in this first match. The GFI Hong Kong Football Club Tens to the defending champions.
We'll trot another one in.
Successful.
Kick is successful. And in the blink of an eye, they're out to 38 points to 0. The BGC team showing that, well, they've got a bit of punch up front if they want to use it. There's no doubt about that. Some mobility and some power up front, and they've certainly always had the pace out wide, and they've always had the danger men like Big Joe out there. He can really go, and not many people will forget the days that Namani Adolo came over and played for BGC and swept all before him. So and that's one of the great things about the tournament. You'll see guys play here one year and potentially Super Rugby or even higher not long after. It's a great place to make your name as a young professional or as a guy perhaps coming back from injury, to remind everybody just how potent and deadly you can be. And now the BGC team parked up outside the 22, and Nilly goes wide, and the wrap around, the channel's open on the outside. Still too strong on his feet, and he takes the attraction of 4 or 5 of them there. There can't be too many out wide if they go wide, and they should go wide too, and there'll be acres of room out there for BGC, and they'll trot over just about unopposed. But in they go for another 5-pointer. Scratch up 43 with the kick to come, Ben.
Into the 40s go the Dragons.
Defensively, it's never a good picture for a coach and a tens team when you see 4 or 5 of your boys standing around the ball.
Conversion unsuccessful.
PC can't land it out from out wide.
East Africans 0.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's a difficult kick. I've only completed the effort 2 or 3 times myself in my entire life. Maybe in gumboots after the game, mate. So, the restart competed by BGC, and finally the East Africans from inside their own 22. Someone gets on the front foot, that's good to see. Let's see how they go at the breakdown and straight in, or keeping it locked in. It was the call, so a little bit of advantage. You bend to Charles, knocks it down the track a wee bit further. They get a good roll on. One East African up there to cause some pressure. He makes the tackle. BGC. Well, just perhaps a little bit lackadaisical on their approach at the moment. They are 43 points clear. Well, it'll be good for them later in this tournament if they can get some ball and play some rugby by hand. Maybe even pressurise this BGC team and see if they can steal a score off them. And BGC decide to take the restart into the 15-metre line. I'll turn it into a scrum.
Putting their size and pace to good use is something else, but it'd be good to see the East Africans have a real go here.
So the short side breakout, he just shows it and he takes 20 metres off the East Africans, and now they look to go wide, and the channels are well and truly opened up if they move it, and they'll look to move it. They do move it. They've got just taking yards off the East Africans, who get to sit back and watch the crack unit operating at the moment. Just good continuity.
Pacific Rugby is its best, isn't it? The old score pass over the top, brilliant stuff.
Support, plenty of pace, there's no doubt about it. And they trotted another one to take themselves out to 48 points with the kick to come, and it's a fairly straightforward kick. That's 50 points for BGC. Away they go. With only a handful of minutes left in this opening game of the 2015 GFI Hong Kong Football Club Tens, BGC Asia Pacific Dragons is mighty, and it's definite, and it's pretty loud. Teams will be hearing that score when they come through the gate, and it doesn't make for pretty reading. Still, when you look across some of the teams, I think being outfits like the Penguins, they haven't left much to chance this year either. They've come in with a very strong looking team, and the Pyrenees also, they could upset a few people.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this tournament. The standard is so high these days. I mean, teams are getting sponsored to come over here and pulling out some really big names. So I mean, it's good to watch, and good for the local fans here to get to have a real show that the tournament brings.
The East Africans with a little bit of a period here where they've got the ball in hand, which is good to see. They don't have too many assets lined up to attack, but we'll see how they go.
In at number 10, just a quick mention, is Johnny Gabenda Charles, just an ex-Hong Kong player who's found himself in the wilderness a bit, but he's back here for the Tens tournament, obviously, and obviously has assumed the East African patronage.
Well, he's one of the great characters of footy, Johnny Gabenda Charles. He's been here, he's been there, he's been everywhere. They remember him down in Wellington as well. But with a nice smile like that, how could you ever forget? Those of us who've walked around Cardiff after international days have seen him knocking around there as well. So there's not too many corners of the rugby universe that Johnny Gabenda Charles doesn't know about. And if he does, he sometimes doesn't share it with all of us. But it's good to see him out there, and he's a character of shortened format rugby. He's certainly a character here in Hong Kong. Great to see him back. BGC now with the ball. They take it off the East Africans. Spread it wide straight away, spreading open the East African defence, and wonder if you're going to see really this stuff, the hop, skip and the jump, and away they go. Over there, they'll go on for that. It'll be 55. That's a kickable kick as well. I would expect the kick to go straight over.
55.
And it's not so bad having no substitute for Wheels, is there?
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, when you can put someone on who's going to things like that, and you know you're in good stead for the back end of the tournament when it does get into the later minutes in the game, and you got to put some real emphasis on the players coming on to actually do a job for the team.
So inside the final minute now for the GFI East Africans as they prepare to receive the ball from the kick-off. TCPC ball in hand on the 50-metre mark. They go short again, BGC looking to hunt the ball, and they get the tackle and put some pressure on at the breakdown. They commit a few more East Africans, but they, oh dear. Someone packing the bag there with the East African. He got upended pretty promptly. Short side, they take it again, and no wonder they've got the eyes up looking for the opposition after that tackle. A few people checking their rib cages, I think. So advantage play for the East Africans. As time winds down on the clock, this should be the last play of the game. Humidity dropping down to 75% now, which is going to be good news for everyone, Ben.
Yeah, of course. I mean, getting used to the humidity in Hong Kong is one thing, let alone the conditions of the pitch, the slippery ball. It all makes for conditions that are not perhaps conventional, and for most teams that are coming to Hong Kong. So
makes you happy just to be on the sideline eating pies, to be honest, my friend.
Exactly.
It's all over. It's blown up. The misery's over for the GFI East Africans. 57 points to 0. And last year's champions have opened up their account with a very resounding win. The BGC Asia Pacific Dragons get the show underway as we get ready for game number 2, Pool A, due to start in a few minutes' time, 11:50 local time. That is game 1 of the 2015 GFI Tens, live and direct from the Hong Kong Football Club. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jed Thyan, joined also by co-analyst Ben Kendi.
But now it's time for the next match.
Straight off the bat, we'll roll into the next one. The Irish Vikings taking on the Allied World Forces Exiles.
A new signing debut from the valleys of Wales, the Allied World Forces Exiles. Your referee will be Paul Mackay from Singapore.
Game number 2 featuring the Allied World Forces Exiles in red and black versus the Irish Vikings in the white and blue hoop socks. As you watch the teams, the Exiles in red and black playing from right to left on your screens. So just setting up some phases of play, getting some early continuity, but it's knocked back, turned over, comes back to them again. You make your own luck, I guess you could say, on the rugby pitch. That's the halfway line there, and now they break out and look to spread it wide. The magic bounce pass, and just collared there in a tackle, perhaps a little bit loose, a little bit high early on, and people just trying to get their eye in Ben.